Having a blast. Well, Facebook, look who we got here today in St. Petersburg. We got James Esterline, 3 years into comedy. He came from Michigan to St. Petersburg somewhere in his life. Let's talk to him. He does comedy. Talk to us, James. What's going on down in Florida with the pandemic?
Hey, Linda.
Hi.
Well, it's tough because I can't get to any clubs. They're just starting to open restaurants now.
Yes.
Last week they started. I've been bartending 20 years and get a lot of my material from bartending and stuff. I've met a lot of celebrities at the places I bartended, like Ric Flair.
What? Hey, talk louder. I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I've been bartending like 20 years, so it's been tough not being able to bartend, and all the comedy clubs are closed, so all my shows got canceled and can't do any open mics yet.
Yes. So who are some of the celebrities you've met bartending for 20 years in Florida?
When I worked at the Vinoy Hotel, it's a haunted hotel downtown. It's a real fancy place. I've met Ric Flair is one of my buddies now. I've served him for 5 years. Queen Latifah's been there. Kevin Nealon, the Princess of Wales I met, and I didn't even know who she was at the time. That was a funny story. Every baseball team that plays the Tampa Bay Rays stay at that hotel. So we meet all the baseball players. I haven't bartended there in about 9 years now. I left there because it's a creepy haunted hotel.
What kind of creepy stuff did you run into, James Esterline?
It started about a week after nobody told me it was haunted either, by the way, when I started. And it's a Marriott property. It's a Marriott Renaissance hotel, so it's real nice.
Uh-huh.
But about a week after I started, a great big cart was moving all by itself, loaded up with food and dishware, and it's called a queen cart. It's about 200 pounds, and it's loaded up with dishes and food, so it's already pretty heavy.
Wow.
I thought it'd be nice to do it outside, and the bug keeps flying around us.
It's
stupid. Not yours. So this cart just decided to start moving all by itself, and it was going into the dining hall when it was supposed to go to the elevator over to a banquet. That was the first time I saw something weird. I saw a cart move about 12 to 15 feet or so and spin around in a circle right in front of me and a guy Seth that I was with, and then Laura Flight, she's probably watching. She works there still, I believe. And she's like, oh, it does that every day. I've seen glasses move right in front of a guest after I set a drink down in front of a guest. It's actually the biggest bar in all of St. Petersburg. It's inside Marchand's, the restaurant.
Yes.
It's huge. It's like 40-foot ceilings. It's
what?
A really big restaurant.
So talk to me about, that's crazy. I came from Harvey's Comedy Club in Portland, Oregon, and it's built above the Shanghai tunnels, where a deep, dark past of Portland where they would send people out to sea. And so there's all these ghosts and ghost tours. And so every once in a while, weird things would happen at Harvey's. So I get it. I believe in it.
I just watched the special about that with Jack Osborne.
Yep. Discovery Channel.
Yeah, Portals to Hell. I just watched that. They were talking about Harvey's. I'm like, I bet I'll be there someday.
Yeah, when you get ready to apply to them to do comedy there, let me know, because I got an in with those people. So send me your tape and I'll recommend it to Doug there.
Okay.
Yeah, because Doug's my...
Yeah, now, probably in 2 years I'm going to hit the road and go on the road.
Yeah.
Because my son is still in high school. He graduates in 2 years. So that's when I'll be able to go on the road.
Oh, great. So tell me how your comedy career, how is it going right now?
Prior to the pandemic, it was going great. I was getting booked. I had 4 shows booked, and then I host my own show. I used to host one downtown, and we did it weekly, but the show I host now, it's a clean show, which is strange for someone like me who I do edgy stuff, not clean material. But it's at the comic book store, the biggest comic book store in Florida, up in Clearwater at Emerald City, and it's every other month I do a show there. And we filled the room up, and I had some good comedians there, and we had a lot of fun. But I do comic books too. I draw and write comic books. I'm a comic creator. I do indie comics. So I've been going there 20 years since I moved here to Florida from Michigan, And it's a home away from home, away from home. Comedy club's a home away from home now, and then
So,
kind of combine the two.
so there's a guy here in Vegas who's a comedian, and he is an illustrator, and he does comic books. His name is Jeffrey Peterson. He's one of my sponsors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying. When we get done, I want you to remind me of all the places I need to promote on the post, okay?
Okay.
So, like, do you think, like, if you think your mic is going to reopen, and then I want to know the name of it, where it's at, and all that. So let's get on to something else. James, where you were born in Michigan, Grand Rapids?
I was born in Chicago. I'm sorry. I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
And I moved to Michigan when I was a baby, like 2 years old.
Okay.
I grew up in Grand Rapids.
Okay. And is that where they make cereal?
Yeah, they make that in Battle Creek. That's about 45 minutes away from Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids was the furniture capital of the world.
Yeah, Jeffrey Peterson is on here listening. He says, I heard my name. Say hi to Jeffrey. You both do comic strips, comic books, and illustrating stuff, right, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Indie comics.
Indie comics. Yeah, he's been an illustrator, and now he's doing comic books and stuff like that. So you should get to know each other. So you grew up in Grand Rapids, and at some point you said, you know, screw it, I'm going to Florida because I like old people and bad drivers who aren't Asian. So what's the deal with you going to Florida? I want to hear that story.
My ex wanted to move here, actually. I didn't want to move here, but it's probably the best thing that's happened. We moved here in 2000.
Uh-huh.
We split up 2 years later. She went back to Michigan, and I stayed here with our kid. And I met my girl, Pam, and she had 3 kids with her husband who passed away, and we've been together 18 years now.
Oh, wow.
And we have 5 kids between the 2 of us now.
Oh, that's so cool.
We raised them all, yeah, from 28 to 11, to 16.
That's amazing. Good for you. Going for a blended family and raising other people's children. And, well, you probably raising them like they're your own.
Yeah, I've known the oldest since he was 11 and the youngest since she was 5, and my daughter was 4.
How
And we had a child together, and now they're all grown up pretty much, you know.
how come do you look 14 years old?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even shave. I got a little white here. I'm 44.
You look so young. I have a daughter that's 43.
Oh, right on.
So yeah, you don't look your age. Do they ask you for ID at the bar?
Mostly at the cigarettes, getting cigars at the store.
I believe it. The other day I got asked for identification to get some wine just because it was a policy, not because I look young. They had cameras watching the girl, so she didn't want to lose her job over me or something. So, okay, back to you. You've been living in Florida. At some point you said, you know what? All my teachers told me I was funny, or my friends, so let me get on stage and make a fool out of myself. When did you decide to go into comedy, James?
I always wanted to, and I used to be in bands, so being in front of a stage was not too hard for me, and I've been bartending 20 years, and my best way to get, good with your guests is to tell jokes and stuff. My brother bartended for a while, and he did magic tricks, but I would goof around, and then I'd start writing down my jokes for new guests. And then Ric Flair actually was sitting at my bar after we'd known each other for a while. I'm working on a comic book for Ric Flair too, called Ric Flair the Zombie Slayer. He said you should go on stage and do your jokes, but it's different than rapping or singing, because hopefully you're gonna get a response. You want people to laugh back. If they hadn't laughed the first time at Side Splitters when I went there for an open mic,
Yeah.
I probably would have gave up, but the people laughed. So, and then I learned that I sucked then, and I still suck. Everybody sucks until they're about 7, 8 years in, I guess.
Yes.
But I'm getting better and better and better.
Yes, every time, you go up, you get better and better. And at some magical, talk about magic, at some magical point, you start sucking less and less. And at some point, people say you killed when you think you sucked.
Right.
It was the weirdest
That's
thing
true.
ever. So, what kind of comedy do you do? You said edgy. So,
For material, yeah, I do edgy material, but I do also like unorthodox stuff. I get into different characters also.
yeah, you
Go
said
on
you did
stage.
4 characters at one time.
Yeah, I'm gonna host a show with my friend Lucian. We're gonna do. He's got a character he used to do called Giggles the Clown, and we're just gonna mix our show.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna just. I'm just gonna be the only act basically, and I'm gonna come out as my different characters, and he's gonna be the host.
So, what are some of your characters? Are you allowed to say, or do you have to kill me?
There's Bobo. He's a Mexican gorilla. He's from Mexico.
Okay.
He's one of them. He was taken from, his mom was taken from the Congo and placed in Chihuahua, Mexico in a zoo where he wanted to be a stand-up comedian. So he climbed over Trump's stupid border wall, and then he came here to Florida so he could be a stand-up comic. So he gets away with telling Trump jokes, where I did a show for, Artie Fletcher invited me to do a show to open for Bob Levy, the Reverend Bob Levy. That was probably the best highlight of my career so far.
Wow.
Open for those guys. And
I love them both.
yeah, he told a Trump. I told a Trump joke, a couple of them, and I didn't know they were all Trump supporters, and so is Bob, and so is Artie. I'm wearing my Bob Levy I Hate People shirt that I bought from him, and he signed for me.
Oh.
He's cool. Both of those guys are awesome. So I had to finish in my last 7 minutes without telling any Trump jokes. So it went well. I still killed.
That's great.
Those guys did too. That was at Bentley's in Seminole.
Okay. So, how far has...
There's another character.
Yeah?
He's a panda bear. His name's Ben.
Hi, Ben. I love it. Oh, that's so hot.
He's a gay panda bear. His name's Ben Tongzi, which in Chinese means stupid panda, stupid gay panda. And Bobo, I didn't know when I named the character Bobo about a year and a half ago that Bobo meant stupid in Spanish. So it's kind of divine intervention there. He's got a baby that he takes with him on stage, and he takes him out of his top hat. And his name's Baby Listo. That's his baby. His wife snuck the anchor baby into the top hat. Hi, I'm Baby Listo, guys. I'm little baby. His name's Listo, which means clever in Spanish, so I could have the best of both worlds there.
What's the craziest thing you've seen in your 3 years? Is it almost 4 years or more like 3 years?
3.5 years. Almost in September, at the end of September, it'll be 4 years.
Okay, so almost 4 years. In almost 4 years, what's the craziest, weirdest, stupidest thing you've ever seen happen? Scary, weird, hard.
That's my own set.
Or from it.
People know who I am because of how outlandish I get. I was trying to make a name, so I wanted to do crazy stuff. People remember your name. Oh, that one crazy guy. Doesn't matter if you did good or bad, people are going to remember that guy, that crazy James guy. Mac James is another character I do. The craziest thing I've seen was at Coconuts Comedy Club on St. Pete Beach, where Bob Shoemaker runs that place. He has an open mic every Tuesday. John Silman's the host. This guy had a heart attack in the audience.
Whoa.
And we thought he fell asleep or something. And the comedian, she had to stop her set. And then Matt Carter had to go up after they got the guy out there and on an ambulance and everything. And the first thing he says was, I got to follow that. You weren't supposed to actually kill, said the other girl. That's probably the craziest thing I've seen. But he called the club and told them he was okay, so nothing. He's still around, the gentleman. And that's out there on the beach where all the old folks live in the condos and stuff. So you get a lot of senior citizens, elderly people that come to the clubs there.
Yeah. Is that a difficult audience to make laugh?
It just depends. Sometimes I did it in front of 2 people there once, and I didn't feel the energy either, so I know why I didn't do well that night. Some people like to blame the crowd, but if you're funny, you're funny. So some days you just aren't funny like that one. But when it's a full room, it's not hard to perform there.
No, I love a full room, and it is a real challenge for just a few people. It is a definite challenge. So,
there's a tougher room called Iberian Rooster downtown.
yeah.
That's sub-central underneath their restaurant. And that can be a tougher crowd because you got a lot of comedians hanging out, and they've already heard your set, and you've already heard their set. After the showcase is over, they start the open mics, so then you got a lot of people that get up and leave in the middle of everything. And I get there after I go to Coconuts, usually if I go to both mics. Now I'm usually up last, and there's like 5 people there, 6 to 10 people,
In a way, that's good, huh, James? Because the people that are still there are diehards, so they're probably paying attention.
Those are the people that I usually get to make closer friends with while we're waiting around and we talk afterwards, too.
That's
the same people.
What's the secret that you have to making yourself get better and better? Besides just getting back on stage and not giving up, what's your secret that you really don't want other people to copy?
Well, then it wouldn't be a secret, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't.
I take advice from all the people I can. I take everybody's advice, and then when that doesn't work sometimes, there's some people that give you bad advice. I usually just listen to the hosts, and then take advice from other comedians. Like I did watch Steve Martin's master class. He's got a lot of good stuff. I watched Comedy Central's This Is Comedy, and they kind of give you how it works all the way up to how you become, a road comedian, a headliner. I haven't headlined anywhere. I've showcased, I've hosted, I've featured, I've spotlighted, but I haven't headlined anywhere yet. So that's my next step.
What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take?
I read stuff like here's something my friend gave me.
Yeah.
And it's a book from 1948 called Fun Fair. Reader's Digest Comedy Treasury, and Reader's Digest came out in 1918, I believe, or 1928. So it's only about 20 years of stuff written by like comedians, cartoonists, and it's like going way back to the W.C. Field days. So I do study books and do history on comedy. Even the old stuff still works sometimes.
Yes.
I don't use other people's material, but I just thought this was a funny book that she gave me.
It's great.
There's a joke I can tell you that's in here I highlighted somewhere.
It's great to look back at some of the old stuff because you can put a new spin on it.
There's a joke from a comedian here from 1930, and it's about these skunks. There's Mama Skunk, and Mama Skunk has 2 baby skunks, in and out. And whenever in was in, out was out. And whenever out was out, in was in type thing. So one day Mama Skunk told Out to go out and get in and bring in back in. So he did right away. And when he came back in, Mama Skunk said to Out, wow, how in all the great forest did you find in so fast? He said, that was easy. Instincts.
Oh, cute.
These jokes are 70 years old, 80 years old.
It's kind of like their dad jokes, huh?
Yeah. A lot of stuff they use a lot of words that we don't use anymore in that book too, like the colored man did this sort of thing.
Oh my gosh.
I do a video on Facebook where it's called The History of Comedy, and I put on a suit and tie, my top hat, and look like W.C. Field, and then I start picking random jokes out of here and reading them.
Oh, wow. So on Facebook, on James
making fun of it, yeah.
So on Facebook, on James Esterline, you do videos of the history of comedy?
That's one of the things that I do. I do a page for Bobo. Ask Bobo questions. People send me questions, and I'll answer them in my videos.
So
James Esterline, the comedian bartender. I have an Instagram too.
Whoa. So you've got one at a time. So you've got your main Facebook, James Esterline, where you do videos of the history of comedy.
Yeah.
And do you do any other showcase stuff on that?
No, just my artwork and tell jokes and stuff.
Okay.
I don't really do any
And so,
stuff on there.
and then what are your other pages and what do you do on them?
There's one called the Daily Haha Joke of the Day Show where I share my YouTube channel videos where I would do stunts and tell jokes and things like that in my headquarters here.
So the daily haha, is that on Facebook or Instagram?
It's on Facebook.
So it's
The
called,
Daily Haha Joke of the Day Show.
and that's the name of the page, is the daily haha?
Yeah,
Or is it daily haha joke of the day?
yeah, with the joke of the day on the end of it, yeah.
Okay. And what other pages do you have?
There's James Esterline, comedian bartender.
Comedian bartender, okay. And
That's my main one.
what do you do on there?
Put all my shows and then some open mic sets on there too.
Okay.
Just post the videos.
Okay. And any other pages on Facebook?
It's called Ask Bobo. Ask Bobo Show, where you ask Bobo the Mexican gorilla questions and he answers them. Here's Bobo right here, actually. I'll show you.
Let's see Bobo.
Hey everybody, it's me, Bobo, Mexican gorilla.
So where are you on Instagram?
Just under Mac James, I believe,
MACJAMES?
with a Z on the end.
Okay.
That's a character I do. I didn't know it was going to be my title for my Instagram when I put it in.
Cool. And where do you find James Esterline on YouTube?
Under James Esterline, comedian bartender.
Comedian bartender. Okay, perfect. And the pandemic hit, so do you want people who fall in love with you to know your Cash App, Venmo, in case they want to help
I
you?
don't have any of that stuff. Yeah.
They can
I
message.
don't have Venmo. I don't have PayPal. I don't have any of that stuff.
They can message you if they want to help you out.
Yeah, they can help other people out. I'm okay.
Okay,
Because I did a show on a virtual show, and I did a lot of virtual open mics where they were going to send me the money from the donations, and I told them to give it to the other comedians that don't have a job. You know, I have a full-time job.
What's your full-time job? You were bartending at
Still
that.
bartending. I'm a master bartender. I'm in the Florida Bartenders Guild. I got my master's bartender at Marriott. So I've been bartending, and I've placed in every competition I've ever been in, actually. First, second, third.
Wow.
Second a couple times.
Holy Toledo. So you're bartending in St. Petersburg. Do you tell people where you're bartending or not?
It's called Leverock's Great Seafood. It's been around 80 years. It's the best seafood place in St. Pete.
How do you call
Have you seen it?
what do you call it? How do you spell it?
Leverock''s.
Leverock's what?
Great Seafood.
Great Seafood?
Yep.
And what's
It's been
the
around 80 years now or so.
Okay, and what's the name of your open mic that you do down there in St. Pete or somewhere around St. Pete?
I host a show at Emerald City Comics.
Okay.
And we're still not doing a show there yet, but that's my show I host every other week.
What day of the week?
Or sorry, every other month.
Okay.
Every other month.
They can Okay.
Saturday.
On a Saturday. What time?
We do it from 4 till about 6. We can go as late as we want, though.
Okay.
It just depends.
All right. Anything else that you host?
Not anymore. I host a show downtown St. Pete, but I left the guys I was working with to go do my own thing,
Yeah.
and they don't host that show there anymore.
Okay. Well, when you get something else that you're hosting or a competition or anytime you want to promote anything, hit me up and I'll bring you on for 5 minutes to plug stuff.
All right. Awesome. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And tonight, after I get done with 6 or 8 interviews today, I'll go add all this information I got from you to the post And if you'll check it for accuracy, I'll send you a message, say I just posted it, check it. And then after you get done telling me what I typed wrong, just click share to Facebook or Instagram, or let your people know of it. So that would be appreciated.
All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I have a YouTube where all my videos are going to be put. It's comedian Linda Marcus Smith. I could use your help subscribing too, James.
Okay.
You've been awesome. You're such a great winner. You know, there's no stopping you. You think like a winner, and I'm really happy for you. I'm happy you have a new love in your life. Well, for the last 18.
Plus, Linda.
Yeah, I think you're a great guy. Someday we'll get to hug each other and meet in person.
I believe it.
Thank you.
I appreciate you letting me come hang out with you.
Oh, man, you're welcome back anytime you got anything to promote, James.
Excellent.
That's.
Check out your YouTube.
Thank you so much. There's 129 videos, and I've got 5 to 7 more a day for 3 weeks that aren't even up there yet. So it needs help.
Excellent. You're welcome.
Okay, take care. Love you. Bye.
You too. I'll see you again soon, okay?
Okay, bye.